Happy holidays. Welcome to Tangle Time Arts. My name is Nana Heron, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And we are working our way through Advent Tangles. And these are my impromptu picks for 2024. We are on days 16 and 17. We're going to do a 2-in-1 because we're going to do a Zendala. And sometimes these projects take a little longer. So by doing 2 days in one, you can always do the project in two parts. So you could do half of it on Monday and then half of it on Tuesday, or you could do it all in one sitting. It's totally up to you. But these do generally take a little longer. All right. So for our materials, we have a beautiful white Zendala. If you don't have one of these and you're using a sketchbook, you need to draw a circle that's, let's see, it's going to be about 4.5 inches in diameter. Once you have your Zendala or a circle drawn on your white paper, you also need a black pen, a number 2 pencil, a tortillon, and I do have some glitter gel pens. You can choose whatever you would like to add color, or you can keep it black and white easily. It's not necessary to add color, but I like to add a little sparkle. It always brightens my day. All right, once you have your materials ready, we are going to start with drawing a couple circles. So you'll also need a compass or something round to draw your circles with. And I for this one actually have tape that's going to be just the right size. So I'm just going to kind of center it. Let me check. I'm just kind of centering it on my project here. And if you're wondering how wide the tape is, it's about 4.25. And I'm going to use the outside. That's about 4.25. And I'm also going to draw a circle on the inside, which is right around 3 inches. So if you don't have something like this, that's just perfect. You want to draw 2 circles and have about, gosh, a good 3/4 of an inch difference between the two uh, circles. All right, so we can start with our drawing our circles here. And I am just using my black pen and very carefully going around. If you're using a compass, of course, you've got a pencil and you'll have to trace the line, and that's fine. So I went all the way around, and I'm going to do the same on the inside, like that. And then what I'm going to do is I am actually just going to freehand a couple of more circles. So I think actually I am going to go over my circle a little darker first, and then I will freehand the other circles. So again, if you did this in pencil, at this point you can go over it like I'm doing. And just because I want to have a darker, more defined black line here. And I'm going to do the same on the inside, although that one does seem a little darker to begin with. So for this project, we will be combining hybrid with Cyme. So we have a woven type of tangle with a blossoming tangle. And I like to do that sometimes because they're so different, but then they look really great together. All right, now this is the part where we're going to freehand it. If you have a compass, of course, you could draw that with the compass, but I am just literally drawing around the inside here. It's not perfect, and I'm not looking for perfect. I'm just trying to make a nice little border here. Remember, there's no mistakes here, so if you have an area that's a little wider or a little thinner, that's perfectly fine. And then I'm going to do the same on this inner circle here. All right. So I do want to just go ahead and write down the names of the tangles because this is a longer project. So day 16 is hybrid. I think that's with an I. Hybrid. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's with an I, hybrid. And 17 is Cyme. So we're going to do on the outside hybrid and on the inside Cyme. So the way I like to do this with hybrid when I'm working in the round is I kind of like to mark off how I'm going to do the zigzag, just because it gets a little complicated when you're working in a circle. If we were working in more straight lines, I would just randomly go in there and do my zigzag. But because we are working in the round, I like to kind of go off of like a clock. So thinking of it that way, now that we have our two sets of borders here, I'm just gonna mark some dots. I'm not measuring. So I have, if we think of this up here as noon, and then on the opposite side, we have 6 o'clock. And then over here, we have 3. And on the opposite side, we have 9. And then we're just going to fill in the other numbers. So we want to roughly go about here for 1 and then 2. So we have noon, 1, 2, 3, and then about here for 4, 5, 6. I'm going to rotate a little bit so I can see better. 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's put 11 there. Okay, so we put our dots where the numbers of the clock would be. And then on the inside of this wider area, so we're going to put hybrid in this area here. So we need another set of marks. So roughly between these two dots, So about halfway between, we're going to put a dot like right there on the inside. The same between these two dots. And it helps to rotate. So between every two dots, you're going to put another dot on the lower level. Again, I'm not measuring. And I think we're back here. So we have on the inside 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 on the inside and 12 on the outside. They're just a little skewed a little bit. Once we have those in, we are going to do our zigzag. So you can pick any one at the top to be your 12, your number 12. And we're just going to go back and forth and put in our zigzag. Just keep working back and forth. And now we're back where we began. And so we have this really cool pattern. It reminds me of the sun. And from there, we are going to keep going with the hybrid tangle. So I like to alternate between the right and left hand sides. And I'm going to work on the top triangles first. So all we're doing is, for example, we have a line here. We are just drawing that parallel or an aura right above it. And I'm going to do that for each one. Just working my way around. So I like to work my way around the circle in this way, instead of working just in one triangle and finishing it and then going to the next one. All right, we're back where we started. And we're going to do the same thing in the opposite direction on the left-hand side now. You want to try to keep them the same width, but don't stress out about it. Because once they're all in there, no one will ever know that one is a little thinner or wider than another one. All right, we're back where we began. And then we're going to go back on the right hand side. And these are getting a little shorter. And we're already all the way around. That was quick. Now back to the left hand side. So it's really just back and forth. Um, until we run out of space. And then back on the right hand side. How are you all doing at home? Some of us might work a little faster than others, so just work at your own pace. If you need to pause this, that's totally fine. All right, and we're back already. And then we're going to go on the left. And I think that's going to be our last pass on the upper level here. All right. So now we have something that looks like this, which is really cool. I actually kind of like it like this, and I'm almost tempted to leave it like that, but we're gonna actually keep going here, and we're going to be working on the inside now. So for that, we're going to start. And if you like it like this, you could leave it like that. That's fine. Actually, I'm very tempted to, but we're gonna just finish it. Um, so we're starting on the left side now. It probably doesn't matter if you start on the left or the right side, but I'm starting on the left. Again, working my way around. I think I'm all the way around already. And then I'm going to put the right side in. And then back to the left. Oops, to finish that one. And then just keep going until there really isn't any space left. And I think I'm all the way around. So we have this really cool, it kind of looks like it's woven together. We could go around and do like one more line in there if you'd like to, but I'm going to leave it like that. And that's hybrid. Um, in the round, actually. So you could actually do another layer of them if you wanted to only do hybrid. Um, or if you have a larger sheet of paper, you could go outwards. But I thought for inside here, we would do a blossoming tangle, more of a botanical tangle, to pair with our woven little, almost like basket looking tangle there. So cyme is kind of to me, it looks like a flower. It could look like a star, but it has 5 points. So I'm just picturing the center here. I'm not really going to mark it. And I'm just going to, off the center, put in like a petal. And I'm going to rotate a little bit. And then I'm going to put in another petal. And then I want one coming out on the other side. Kind of star-shaped. So we start with this. So depending on how you look at it, it kind of looks like a star, kind of looks like a flower. So whatever you prefer to think of it as. And then we are going to aura around that. And yours might be smaller than mine or larger than mine. There's no right or wrong way, and there's no right or wrong size. Mine is probably so a little longer than the cap, and the cap is like 1.25 inches. Once you have your aura around our initial little blossom, we are going to add more petals in between the petals that we already did. And once you have those petals in, we will aura around those. And you can put in as many layers of petals as you'd like. And so now we're back to where we began. And now I'm going to put in more petals. And then we aura around those, which is going to take us right back out to our circle outline. And I think we're all the way around. And that is Cyme. Really cute. It's really pretty actually, and you could do a variety of things with this. And you could make this quite large actually. And what's really interesting about this is I could see even putting tangles within this tangle. So if you're working large, each of these petals could actually have a tangle in them as well. All right, we're going to do a little bit of shading here. Um, there's different ways that you could shade hybrid, but I'm going to start by just shading around the edge here. And maybe we'll just keep it simple today and do something like this. And then I'm also going to shade along here. I'm also going to shade in here. Now I will be using a glitter gel pen, so I don't know how much this is going to show up once I put the color on, but I'm putting this in just in case um, you're not adding color, you would want to do some shading here. All right, as far as the hybrid is concerned, I don't think I'm going to do any additional shading within the actual tangle itself. I'm just going to keep it simple with these two areas here. I added shading in here. I am going to shade Cyme a little bit. So I'm shading around our initial flower or star shape. And then I'm shading each of these areas just to emphasize where we have a petal behind a petal. So you really have to pay attention and look which petals are behind the other petals. All right. And then if you're not adding color, you probably want to shade along the outside of these petals here. Like that. And I'm going to pause it just for a minute because I can tell my puppy is getting up to mischief. So I'll let you catch up with the shading and I will be right back. All right, I got him a little chewy, so hopefully he'll be occupied with that for a little bit. The last area of shading I would like to add is probably on the outside here, just a little bit. So we'll just lightly put this on. And this entire project is light shading, not with a heavy hand, but very light. All right. Now we can take our tortillon and we can start blending. I like to start from the center and work my way out. And I'm just going along our initial flower here. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I love shading and blending. It's just fun. So it's just really a light back and forth motion for this particular project. All right, I think I got all of them. There's quite a few petals actually. So, um, so take your time with that. And then I'm going to work my way around this inner circle here. Mhm. And then we'll come just outside of that and blend this a little bit. And we're just working our way out. So now we're at this level. So very simple shading today, but there's a lot of area that's shaded. And now finally we're on our very outer edge. Yeah, and I think I made it all the way around. Pretty sure. Just make sure everything is shaded nicely. All right, so it's all shaded in. You could call this done. You could put your initials on it and you could call that finished. I am actually going to add some color. So whether you have gel pens or markers or colored pencils, um, you can gather those. And let me just check on the puppy here. Settle down. Sit. Okay, sit. Okay. All right. Somehow he had crawled under some furniture. Okay. So I am going to start with the center, but I would like to add one little thing. So I've got my black pen, and I just want to add a tiny, so it's kind of like doing an aura on the inside. I just want to add a tiny little Cyme on the inside. And I'm going to make that kind of a gold color, like for a flower. So I have that. I am not going to aura that one because I'm just going to ink that in with my kind of gold color here. Oh, so I have kind of a little oddball petal there. That's okay. All the petals are unique and special in their own way. All right, so I've got the center as a little bit golden, and then I'm going to switch colors, and I have this kind of it's a pretty color. It's like I don't know, I might call it a raspberry color. So I'm doing my flower as raspberry. Well, white petals with raspberry. I don't know if these are like stripes. And you can choose any color you want. Maybe you want a purple details or red or orange. You could use any color that you want. So now I'm just working my way out layer by layer. You could use different colors for each layer if you wanted to. So instead of using the raspberry for the second layer, I could have chosen a different color and then a different color for the third layer. So it's entirely up to you. You can get creative with it. All right, I'm on the third layer now, and I'm continuing on with the raspberry color. All right, I think I have that all filled in. Um, it has a really nice sparkle to it. That looks cool. I like it. I'm going to put the cap on that one, and then I kind of have to decide if I want to add color to this background area here. We could leave it with the shading, um, but I thought I would ink it in. The question is, do I want to put the blue there and and then have the gold in these areas or vice versa? And I'm kind of a little bit undecided as to what I want to do. Um, so I'm thinking, let me just do a little test on my blue color here. So I've got the blue color, which is nice. And then I want to see how it looks with the raspberry color. That's nice. Um, but would I rather have the gold color with it? So I think I will actually go with the blue. And I'm just going to ink in these areas. It's kind of a large area, but and you're not going to see a lot of the shading through it. But I put the shading in case some of you are not using color. So yeah, it was kind of a toss up for me whether to do this area blue or gold. And maybe you want yours to have some green in it for the holidays. Um, and that's an idea too. You could leave some of these as petals and do the outer layer. Those could be leaves. So there's a lot of possibilities here as far as coloring it in and shading. You can really play around with it and have fun with it that way. So yeah, your outer layer of petals could actually be green. They could be leaves. That's cool. I think I'll have to actually try that myself. I'll have to do another one. I think the blue looks really pretty. Very sparkly. And our last section, which is actually kind of a big section. Hmm. All right. So let me take a look and make sure I got all the areas. Okay, so that has a really nice sparkle to it. It's very pretty. Now that I have that in, I'm going to go back and take the gold and I am going to add that to these areas here. And it's interesting because I don't know if you can see it on the video, but actually I can see the shading through the gel pen just a little bit. So that's good to know. I wasn't sure if it would show or not. All right, we made it around the inner one. And now we're going to do the outer. Just a reminder, if you're working with gel pens, to be careful because they do take longer to dry. So just be mindful of where you are holding onto your tile so that you don't accidentally smear it, which is very easy to do. All right. I think that's it for the gel pens. So we have a really sparkly piece tonight. Um, you could go in a little darker with the shading around the hybrid, but I'm going to leave it like that. Um, I'm going to call this done. I just need to put my initials in there somewhere, and I'm going to put that in with the hybrid. Let's see, where could I put them? I'm just trying to find a spot where maybe it's a little wider and I could easily tuck my initials in there. All right, done. How cute is that? So we have not a poinsettia, but a different Christmas flower. Um, I think it's dry, so I'm going to flip it over and fill out my information with my name. And it's actually it's the 16th, but this is for 2 days. It's our Advent Tangles 2024. Days 16 and 17. And we have Hibred and Cyme. And they're both by Zentangle. All right. So yeah, cute little 2-in-1 project. So I hope you enjoy it. I love working with sparkles once in a while. It's a lot of fun. But whether you just leave it black and white or with shading or use colored pencils or markers or paint markers or watercolors, it's gonna look great. Um, I feel like these always turn out awesome, and I just love working in the round and doing Zendalas. They're just so relaxing. All right, this has been super fun, and I will be back on Wednesday with something completely different, um, and equally fun, and maybe we'll use more sparkles. All right. So take care, everyone. Take your time with this one. If you need to do it in 2 parts, that's totally fine. If you just do it in one sitting, that's totally fine. Everything is up to you. All right. Have an amazing day. See you back on Wednesday. Stay safe, be well. Traffic's been really busy out there, so be careful. And remember, I love you guys. All right, bye-bye.